Promoting Health and Wellness in Individuals with Disabilities. The Role of Recreation and Leisure by Ms. Christiana Goodspeed. The challenge: think critically about the concept of disability, the images that come to mind, the language, and the attitudes, the sheer range of abilities, needs, and the variety of people who experience changes in ability. Who are people with disabilities? Consider those who mask through symptoms or white knuckle, those who are undiagnosed, the temporarily disabled, those who can pass for able or have an invisible disability, those who have a range of abilities, sensitivities, and sensory perceptions. Constructive functional diversity means perhaps every individual is functionally diverse, not only those with disabilities. People with disabilities. Individuals with disabilities are healthy. By continuing recreation and leisure activities while disabled, health is promoted and improved. The text mentions demedicalizing disability. Language used around disability and health has significant impact on societal perception. Disabled doesn't mean wheelchair bound, debilitated, or in need of constant care. There is an incredible range in the greater disabled community, range and variety of needs, abilities, and values. There is a range of culture and a culture within itself. The concept versus the reality of disability. Individuals with disabilities live active lives. Anyone can acquire a disability at any time. If we live long enough, we will experience a change in ability. Every family has a relative or friend who has a disability. Disabled people represent the most inclusive and diverse minority. Individuals with disabilities have unique stories. Disabilities can be visible or invisible, something you're born with, something that is acquired. Acquired disabilities can disrupt the day-to-day activity, social lives, and overall wellness of the individual. Disabilities can be behavioral or emotional, sensory impaired disorders, developmental or physical. The text focuses on physical disabilities, emphasizing gains made possible by physical activity, mentioning the role of these physical activities on emotional health and social support systems, as well as metabolic health. Gains are made in physical functionality, but also by engaging in a chosen activity with others. Gains are made in the realms of emotional health, stability, relationships, self-esteem, and autonomy. The purpose of accessible recreation programs. These programs allow optimal social connection for a range of individuals, and universal design allows for optimal inclusion. Increasing opportunities for abled allies forming friendships, families of those who have disabilities, and allows for the full range of engagement. There are barriers to accessible recreation programs. People with disabilities often experience barriers beyond those experienced by the general population. Some of those barriers are cost of admission, membership, or specialized transportation. The lack of accessible exercise equipment. Physical layouts challenging to people using mobility aids, and stigma. Barriers to accessible recreation. Limiting beliefs, external and internal. The perception that fitness facilities are unfriendly. Inadequate facilities, restrooms, picnic areas, and playgrounds designed without considering accessibility needs. A lack of information on appropriate and accessible programs. A lack of disability awareness and support in fitness staff. Caregiver shortage. Lack of training. The purpose of accessible rec programs. Participation can improve social interaction and support. These programs build on what individuals are interested in and value. The programs are a means to improve overall strength and wellness. They are a way to increase autonomy, self-direction, and self-determination. Your favorite activity can be a source of motivation. These programs build skills that can spread or generalize to other areas of their lives. The purpose of accessible recreation programs. When individuals with disabilities have and make choices in their leisure activities, a higher sense of well-being, enjoyment, and satisfaction is reported. Self-determination in recreation leads to greater feelings of engagement, confidence, and reduced social isolation. Engagement in recreation helps foster social connections, friendships, and creates a sense of belonging. This reduces feelings of stress and loneliness. Important health indicators. Visibility in inclusive recreation environments promotes social acceptance and the development of vital social supports. Recreation and leisure play a vital role in improving quality life and overall well-being for all individuals. When we take into account accessibility, diversity, and equity, redistributing power, creating a range of opportunities, allowing for equal representation and democratic pricing, we create a sense of belonging where individuals can reach their full potential. Recreation and leisure for individuals with disabilities. Recreation relates to well-being by being a path to maintaining physical, mental, social, and emotional health. Social supports. Recreation can be a forum for developing and maintaining social support systems and be a way for individuals with disabilities to become more active in their communities, relating back to that sense of belonging. Disability-specific research. There are numerous benefits to community-based physical activity programs for individuals with disabilities. Several studies show improvements in cardiovascular fitness, functional mobility, bone density, walking speed, physical fitness, and psychological well-being for individuals with various disabilities. Recreation professionals must support and encourage the transition from rehabilitation and physical therapy environments to community-based exercise programs to improve the quality of life, social support, and coping skills for people with disabilities. The effect of exercise on health in persons with disabilities. Physical inactivity leads to the development of secondary conditions. These secondary conditions lead to the onset or increase of functional limitations. These limitations lead to a decreased capacity to engage in physical activity, which leads to physical inactivity, and the cycle repeats itself. So the lack of physical exercise leads to reduced function. Disability-specific research. Physical activity during leisure time benefits all people. Exercise provides numerous physical and psychological benefits. These benefits include improved weight control, reduced risk of chronic conditions like diabetes and cancer, reduced stress and depression, and an increased ability to perform daily activities. The greatest health improvements are seen when the least fit people become physically active. Any physical activity is better than inactivity. It's so hard to get moving when dealing with chronic pain, concerns about safety, or inaccessibility. Promoting leisure time physical activity can help maintain independence and health, especially in older adults. Physical activity recommendations. The exact and optimal dose of physical activity for people with disabilities is unknown. Should be carefully considered on a case-by-case basis. These numbers come from general public health guidelines being applied. Some physical activity is better than none, and people with disabilities should avoid inactivity. These guidelines were developed to provide recommendations for specific population subgroups, including people with disabilities. The key recommendations include 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week, or 75 of vigorous intensity. 30 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise 5 days a week, or 20 minutes of vigorous aerobic exercise. 8 to 10 strength training exercises 2 to 3 times per week. Balance exercises if at risk for falls. Adapting activity levels to individual abilities if unable to meet the full guidelines. Developing lifelong leisure pursuits. Improves quality of life, functionality, strength, autonomy, and resilience. Step 1, activities. Recreation, structured or unstructured. Step 2, investment, time and effort. The more you enjoy something, the more time and effort is spent on it. Step 3, progress. In terms of ability, social networking, and wellness. Lifelong leisure pursuits build on individuals' innate interests as motivation. Recreation and community involvement. Disability can be frustrating, especially when the no's pile up, as when faced with numerous constraints, such as hostile or disabling environments, structures or buildings, lack of social acceptance, negative societal attitudes, and perceptions of stigma. All this has negative influence on individuals with disabilities, as well as the overall perception of disability. I feel empowered by the realization it's not so much that I am disabled, it's that a hostile environment is disabling me. I hunger for the opportunity to comfortably participate in community recreation activities. There are more inclusive leisure options than ever, but more must be done to address environmental, social, and programmatic access issues. Inclusive leisure contexts should provide social support for individuals with disabilities to take risks and challenge stereotypes, particularly in physically active recreation and sports activities. Involvement in inclusive recreation can also provide a training ground for individuals with disabilities to learn and utilize self-advocacy skills to seek and request leisure options that will promote their health. Inclusive recreation promotes community involvement, thus improving health and quality of life for everyone. When something is poorly designed, if it's the environment or the product, if you have an impairment, and if you're unable to participate, that is what creates disability. It's not as though your disability created the poorly designed product. Recreation and community involvement. Inclusive leisure provides social support for individuals with disabilities. These inclusive leisure programs and activities create opportunities to take risks and challenge stereotypes, particularly in physical activity, recreation and sport activities like wheelchair, basketball, and pool therapy or aquatic Zumba. Involvement in inclusive recreation also provides a training ground for individuals with disabilities to learn and utilize self-advocacy skills, to seek and request leisure options that will promote their overall health. Inclusive recreation promotes community involvement, thus improving health and quality of life for everyone. Active engagement in community life has been identified as an important factor in predicting quality of life. Inclusive sports programs foster feelings of normalcy, offer a social network, and provide connection to community. Leisure and recreation involvement help assist individuals adjust to their disability, especially acquired disabilities, and help with transitional planning, providing a source of continuity, and a forum for using new and forgotten skills. Universal design. Structuring buildings, products, or environments to make them accessible to people, regardless of age, disability, or other factors. It emerged as a rights-based anti-discrimination measure which seeks to create designs for all ability. Equity in design. Inclusive design. Universal design. Inclusive design and equity design acknowledges unfair systems. Equity design and universal design provides equal opportunity for all. Inclusive design and universal design considers that what helps one can help many. And at the intersection of all of these gives me the hope for the most change. 7 principles of universal design: equitable use, flexibility, simple and intuitive mechanics, perceptible information, easy to understand, high tolerance for error, low physical effort, size and space for approach and use. The 8 goals of universal design is to fit the body for comfort, awareness, understanding, wellness, social integration, personalization, and cultural appropriateness. I believe that in addition to public places, social opportunities, social support systems, activities, programs, recreation and leisure need to be as accessible as possible. But there are always limits. When confronting inaccessibility and ableism, be part of the solution, choose your battles wisely, advocate for yourself, provide calm feedback, find an advocate or align with an advocacy group to help. Contact support groups, counselors, specialized programs. Prioritize health and self-care when community care fails. Escalate to the appropriate authorities or management. Examples of universal design: cut curbs, ramps, wide sidewalks for wheelchairs and strollers. Another example: speech recognition across platforms, closed captioning, vibrate mode on cell phones, and standardized public school. Critiques of universal design. Sometimes there's a cost involved. There's tension between feeling entitled and feeling like a burden. Universal design may not allow for individual excellence, but it allows for everyone to reach their full potential as well. Ideas on how to use universal design responsibly. Utilize empirical data proving effectiveness. Explore benefits for stakeholders. Explore benefits for all people. Consider unheard voices. Stay flexible, adaptive. Keep costs low. This is a quiz to fill in the blank. these are the answers. Blank blank allows for optimal inclusion. Universal design. The end. My sources. Thanks.